Each year, roughly 7,000 African Americans are murdered, and 94% of the time is by another African American. According to a study by the Bureau of Justice Statistics, between 1976 and 2011, there were 279,384 black murder victims, which means that 262,621 were murdered by other blacks, and at this time, only 13% of the nation's population were made up of African Americans, but accounted for more than 50% of the homicide victims. According to a Tuskegee Institute study between the years 1882 and 1968, there were 3,446 African Americans who were lynched at the hands of whites. Black fatalities during the Korean War, which was 3,075, the Vietnam War, which was 7,243, and all other wars since 1980, which was 8,197, which totals to 18,515, pales in comparison with the black loss of life at home. In recent studies, African American youth represent 32% of all weapon arrests in the U.S. and were also arrested for aggravated assault at a rate nearly 3 times that of whites. Now, what I'm seeing on social media, CNN, Fox News, and other news and social outlets, whether it's being YouTube or wherever you else want to go, there's a lot of outrage involving the unjustified deaths of Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, and a few notable others. And it's causing a lot of distrust between ourselves and the police force, ourselves and other races. So right now there's a lot of rioting going on. There's a lot of looting going on. But my issue is the rioting and looting that's going on is going on in our own neighborhoods. We are destroying our own neighborhoods because of the loss of a black life. So we lose a black life and we tear up a neighborhood that it took us decades to build. Let that sink in. We're destroying our own communities for a pair of shoes, for some wigs, some weaves, a new outfit, maybe that TV that you've been eyeing. In this situation, you could be mad or you could be angry. On one hand, you can keep on rioting, looting, flipping cars, doing everything to get negative attention. On the other hand, you can recognize the problems that's in our own neighborhoods. You can recognize the problems outside of our neighborhoods, and you can look to adjust it, and you can look to diminish it. Our culture has a problem even dealing with justice. And when I say dealing with justice, I mean we would rather have the locals. We would rather have the local dealer on the corner pushing crack to our kids, and we'll keep our mouths closed. Don't be snitching. We would rather have the rapist or the murderer down the street free to go ahead and do what they do, which is tear our community apart. But the problem is, we have for so long tried to make our own culture where we live by our own rules. And we don't pay attention to nobody else. We're kids growing up smoking weed, drinking, hustling on the corner. They don't know what it is to have a real job. They don't know what a profit sharing plan is. They don't know what a 401k plan is. They don't know what it's like to work 40 hours a week, 60 hours a week, 80 to 120 hours every 2 weeks. Because we made that socially unacceptable to have a real job. How can we expect change and for people to respect us when all we want to do is watch fights and murders? We want to see women in the skinniest clothes. We want our young men with their pants to their ankles, calling it swag. What is swag? What kind of package does swag have in life? We rather ditch our sons and our daughters and lay up with the next woman, and that woman would accept us and expect us to take care of their kids when we're not even taking care of our own. We have so many problems that we refuse to address. We're living in a time where there's going to be a lot of unfortunate situations that's going to happen. That's going to cause a lot of anger. But we're also living in a time where you have cousins murdering cousins, and no one bats an eye. We have so many murders going on that the first thing a person does is put it on Facebook, rest in peace, then a week later you hear nothing of it. Make a t-shirt, but you hear nothing of it. We would rather do ice bucket challenges, alcohol challenges, shot challenges, cinnamon challenges, all these dumbass challenges, instead of challenging each other to make a change. We're living in unfortunate times. But the thing is, this isn't the first time that this has happened. And I'm pretty sure it's not going to be the last time it happened. But when you wake up in that morning and you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you want the world to see? A thug or a respectable man? A woman or a hoe? We need to protect ourselves, protect our values, If we protect our values, we protect our children. Now, I ain't gonna tell nobody to go ahead and run the church. I ain't gonna tell nobody to go ahead and pick the Bible up. Even though I feel that it does have the answers, at the same time, the church needs to come out into the streets. Everybody is not gonna go to the church. Sometimes the church needs to come out. We have a lot of people in power that can make a change, but they're gonna delegate it to somebody else. That way they have somebody to blame when the things don't go right. Even in our own city, it's the same way. We elect our congressmen and our councilmen in. We have the power to pick the sheriffs in. We have the power to go and talk to the police and show the police that we're not all hoodlums, that we're not all thugs, that we're law-abiding citizens, and that we care about making a change. We have that power because we have a voice. Nobody's walking around muted. I was always told a closed mouth don't get fed. If you want to get angry, be angry and make a change. Don't be angry and destroy what it took you decades to build. Think about how long it took us to get to this point. You have the KKK sending thank you letters because we're killing each other off faster than they could. How much sense does that make? And I'm pretty sure that the moment you watch this video, you're going to be on World Star, watching a fight, laughing about somebody being in an unfortunate situation, instead of changing the way that you think. If you change the way you think, you can change the way you present yourself. If you change the way you present yourself, you change the way that others look at you. We don't need to be losing people left and right. Thank you for your time. It is what it is. I know what God put inside of me. I could tell you what He probably put inside of you, but it's better if you go do some soul searching of your own. How much of a change do you really want? And for your parents, you parents, how much of a change do you really want for your kids?